Welcome back. In our last lesson, we learned about several forms used for expressing what you think and realized. And in this lesson, I'll teach you about how to say whether or not. And just like before, I'll also be teaching some more advanced ways to do this. First, here are all of the topics we'll learn about in this lesson. Okay, let's get started with the first form. 지 is used when talking about unknown information. It means that whatever verb it's used after is something unknown. It's unknown whether or not, or if it is. It's used with both action verbs and descriptive verbs. For example, A, G, B means whether or not A, B. Because it's used for talking about unknown information, it's commonly used in sentences with question words, such as 어디, 언제, 어떻게, etc., as well as with verbs that have to do with knowing information, such as 알다, 모르다, etc., as well as conveying information, such as 알려주다, 물어보다, 가르치다, etc. To use it, conjugate a verb into an adjective in any tense, then attach 지. For example, 하다, to do, would become 하는지 in the present tense, or 할지 in the future tense. However, the past tense uses the ending 는지, so 하다 would become 했는지 in the past tense.
어디 가는지 궁금해요.
I'm curious where we're going. Literally, whether we're going where.
내일도 바쁜지 물어볼게요.
I'll ask if they're busy tomorrow too.
뭐가 더 예쁜지 알려주세요.
Let me know which, literally what, is prettier, or literally whether what is prettier.
뭘 먹을지 모르겠어요.
I don't know what I will eat. Literally, whether I'll eat what.
뭘 좋아하는지 물어봐 주세요.
Please ask what they like. Literally, whether they like what.
지금도 있는지 궁금해요.
I'm curious if they're here still.
언제까지 더울지 모르겠어요.
I don't know when it'll be hot until. Literally, if it'll be hot until when.
누가 했는지 알아요?
Do you know who did it? Literally, whether who did it. To say whether or not, use the form 지 twice. First with a regular verb and then again with a verb that means its opposite. This can also be any tense. For example, 하다 could become 하는지, 안 하는지, whether one does it or not. 좋아하다, meaning to like, could become either 좋아하는지, 안 좋아하는지, meaning whether one likes it or not, or 좋아하는지, 싫어하는지, whether one likes or dislikes. And 있다, meaning to exist, could become 있는지, 없는지, whether it exists or not. In addition, descriptive verbs have an additional option. You can use the verb 아니다, meaning to not be, as the second verb. Again, this can be any tense. For example, 쉽다, meaning to be easy, could become either 쉬운지, 어려운지, whether it's easy or difficult, or 쉬운지, 아닌지, whether it's easy or not.
냉장고에 있는지 없는지 확인해 주세요.
Please check if it's in the refrigerator or not.
철수가 저를 좋아하는지 싫어하는지 모르겠어요.
I don't know if 철수 likes me or not.
뜨거운지 아닌지 어떻게 알아요?
How do you know if it's hot or not?
내일 시험이 쉬울지 어려울지 아무도 몰라요.
Nobody knows if the test tomorrow will be easy or difficult. Alternatively, when using the future tense with an action verb, the second opposite verb can be 말다, meaning to stop or to not do. This will become 말지. Literally, this means whether I will do it or not do it.
갈지 말지 안 정했어요.
I didn't decide if I'll go or not.
이걸 살지 말지 빨리 알려주세요.
Let me know quickly if you'll buy this or not.
영어를 공부할지 말지 고민이에요.
I'm thinking if I'll study English or not. 서 그런지 is a combination of the form 서, meaning because, the verb 그렇다, meaning to be so, and the form 지, and literally means whether or not it is so because. Because this uses the form 지, it means that it's unknown whether something is because of something. For example, A 서 그런지 B means perhaps because of A, B. Or more naturally, you can translate this as maybe or perhaps because.
잠을 늦게 자서 그런지 너무 피곤해요.
Perhaps because I slept late, I'm so tired.
날씨가 추워서 그런지 오늘은 사람이 별로 없네요.
Perhaps because the weather's cold, there aren't a lot of people today.
처음이라서 그런지 잘 모르겠어요.
Perhaps because it's my first time, I'm not sure.
아는 사람이 없어서 그런지 심심해요.
Perhaps because there's nobody I know, I'm bored.
너무 매워서 그런지 눈물이 나요.
Perhaps because it's too spicy, I'm tearing up. The form 으나, which we learned can mean but, can also mean whether or not. This form also appears in the form 으나 마나, which means that something doesn't matter, and uses the verb 말다, meaning to stop or to not do, as the second verb. The particle 이나 also comes from this form and uses the verb 이다, to be. 으나 is often used twice, first with a regular verb and then again with a verb that means the opposite. Unlike the form 지, which is used for unknown information, the form 으나 is used when something happens regardless of whether or not something else happens. For example, A 으나 B 으나 means regardless of whether A or B. This form is less commonly used in everyday speech. Use 든지 instead.
철수가 하나, 제가 하나 똑같아요.
Whether 철수 does it or I do it, it's exactly the same.
여기는 비가 오나 눈이 오나 손님이 많아요.
Whether it rains or snows, there are a lot of customers here.
지금 가나 나중에 가나 상관없어요.
It doesn't matter if you go now or later.
삼겹살은 이렇게 먹으나 저렇게 먹으나 다 맛있어요.
Whether you eat samgyeopsal, meaning pork belly, like this or like that, it's all delicious. The form 던지 is originally a combination of 던 for past tense and the form 지. It literally means that it's unknown whether or not something was in the past tense. However, 던지 is used in a different way. It's used together with the adverbs 얼마나, meaning how much, and 어찌나, also meaning how much, to literally mean that it's unknown how much something was. This implies that something was so or so much that it's unknown how much it was. 던지 is used to say that something was so or so much or did something so much and adds emphasis. You can think of 던지 as similar to saying 아주, meaning very, together with the form 서, because something is so. To use it, attach 던지 directly after a verb stem in the present tense or the past tense. So 작다 could become 작던지.
얼마나 맛있던지 세 그릇을 먹었어요.
It was so delicious, I ate 3 bowls.
비가 얼마나 많이 오던지 우산을 썼는데도 다 젖었어요.
It rained so much, even though I used an umbrella, I got all wet.
음식이 나오는데 얼마나 오래 걸리던지 다 먹고 나니 2시간이 지났어요.
It took so long for the food to come out that after I finished eating it, I realized 2 hours had passed.
날씨가 얼마나 덥던지 길에 사람이 하나도 없더라고요.
The weather was so hot, there wasn't anyone on the street at all. The form 으면 can also be used in a similar way as 던지. However, this form is typically only used with the adverb 얼마나, meaning how much, and will end with the form 가요 or 겠다. So 하다 could become 할까요 or 하겠어요. This form is used to express the speaker's opinions or feelings on something being so or so much. The nuance is of asking something rhetorically.
얼마나 배가 고팠으면 딱딱한 빵을 먹었겠어요?
They must have been so hungry to have eaten hard bread.
얼마나 피곤했으면 신발을 신고 잠이 들었을까?
They must have been so tired to have fallen asleep wearing shoes. 던지 is sometimes confused with 든지, as they have similar sounds.
저는 뭘 먹든지 상관없어요.
I don't care whatever I eat. In this above sentence, 뭘 먹든지, meaning no matter what I eat, could be mispronounced as 뭘 먹던지. Remember that 든지 is used to connect sentences together with the meaning of regardless of whether. This is used when any choice out of multiple options is acceptable. 지, meaning whether or not, should not be confused with 지, which means since. While they appear similar, this form is only used with action verbs to mean since something happened. This is most often something that happened and is still happening now, such as starting to learn Korean, etc. In addition, 지 is only used in sentences with an amount of time, and an action verb that shows how much time has passed. For example, A to B means B amount of time has passed since A happened. To use it, conjugate an action verb into an adjective in the past tense, then add a space, followed by 지. So 하다 would become 한지, and 먹다 would become 먹은지. A few common verbs used with this form are 되다, 지나다, meaning to pass, 흐르다, meaning to go by, 오래되다, meaning to be a long time, and 넘다, meaning to be more than.
한국어를 공부한 지 1년이 됐어요.
It's been 1 year since I first studied Korean.
새 차를 산 지 하루밖에 안 됐어요.
It's only been 1 day since I bought a new car.
철수가 밖에 나간 지 얼마나 됐어요?
How long has it been since Charsu went outside?
남자친구랑 사귄 지 3년이 넘었어요.
It's been over 3 years since I first dated my boyfriend.
여기서 산 지 오래됐어요.
It's been a long time since I first lived here. And that's all for this lesson. Remember to take your time, take lots of notes, and practice everything in this lesson before moving on, and I'll see you again in the next lesson. 그럼 다음에 또 봐!